They're expecting a sellout crowd. The sun's starting to peek out from behind the clouds. Two of the best face-off men in the country, and we are ready here at Dorrance Field in Chapel Hill. Carolina in the home whites, winning the opening draw with Brady Wambach, and they go to work on offense right away. Both top 10 scoring offenses. Both teams average more than 14 goals per game. Kavanaugh.
Smart by Kavanaugh to use the back iron in the crease to hang Prohaska up.
Kavanaugh, backhanded shot. McLean picks it up. Maharis up top. In traffic. Knocked away.
You call it the no-name defense, man. They're in unison. A ton of experience from a year ago. It helped how many players they used in that championship run in 2024. They went 3 deep at the midfield.
They were using a third midfield on championship weekend. Here comes Dupuis. Down the alley, ran out of an angle. Save. Richard Deli, did he get a piece of it? No. So the shot clock at 8. No shot clock reset. Duffy working hard. Feeds to Matten for the goal.
Here's the thing. Owen Duffy knows the magnitude of this matchup against Sean Light. They didn't get to play each other last year.
Duffy could care less. He is going to go after any defenseman that tries to lock him up. The heels up by 1.
If Notre Dame completes the three-peat, harder to do it now than ever before.
100%. And so much credit to Kevin Corrigan and his staff. The way that he's evolved over the years, too. And, you know, I think of their dominance over the years, specifically this last 2 to 3 years. They have figured a way out.
Here's Duffy. Skirts it wide.
To use the portal to their advantage. You know, you've been there 3+ decades, but right now you're at the top.
A couple players tangled up. One was Duffy. There's Wilson. Snakes back to X. Playing hangman with Buckner. Matten trying to flash open. Wilson shakes, sizzle, score.
Wow. This deserves a smell you later. I mean, look how he uses the back iron in the edge of the crease to just absolutely shake Tyler Buckner.
The 5th goal of the season for the freshman Wilson. Colin Hagstrom at the face-off X for Notre Dame. It doesn't matter. Wambach's 3 for 3. Trail check by Will Donovan, the All-American.
In terms of where he's going to start his dodges, he can hang a player up at X. He can play in a top corner. He's really positionless.
Faison, the jumper. Gianfrancaro catapults out of the cage. Right now, North Carolina just quicker with all the 50-50 ground balls. They got a chance, maybe unsettled. You know, Joe Bresci's talked about guys like Harshbarger, Mason Suchek, who's had 4 goals the last 2 games. Some of these younger guys, Ty English, that's going to determine the ultimate ceiling for UNC. Shot from the wing, and that was Harshbarger to English on cue.
Harshbarger has made 2 sweet moves with dishes. One was to Wertheim early in the first quarter. This time, just uses his plant foot and then anticipates where the slide's coming. For a freshman midfielder to have the awareness.
So no Will Lynch at the face-off X. They stick with Hagstrom. Trying to find some kryptonite for Wambach. Donovan off the wings. Such a weapon. Here's Ryan Levy. Duffy now has the short stick Buckner. He slips. There's the double. Skip pass. Petramalo recovers. Left hand free. Howitzer save. Richard Ellie. knocked out of bounds by Notre Dame. Didn't have as much ball movement offensively last week against Duke. Shot clock dips back to 10. Duffy against the short stick Ramsey. Ramsey is going to get flagged as he knocks Duffy to the ground. Shot clock at 3. And that's one thing to watch. Duffy's banged up. Teams know that. They play him a certain way.
They're going to go after him physically. What they have to realize is this kid is tough as nails. This is a blatant hold. You could call a cross-check. They calling that a crowbar, right? With that much stick on the rib cage, that should be a cross-check.
So a man-up opportunity for UNC. 42% with the extra man this season. Feet in front. And the goal is good. It's Mason Suchek. It is 4-0 North Carolina. This is a rivalry where Notre Dame's won the last 4 games, all by 7 or more goals.
We mentioned how Notre Dame was thumping Syracuse and Carolina the last couple years. I was complaining, saying it should be a 1-minute penalty with a cross-check. The hold in 30 seconds. They only needed about 10 seconds to get it done.
What do you make of Notre Dame sticking with Hagstrom instead of Lynch against Wambach?
You know, I would go with Lynch. And the reason being is because they don't have history together. They didn't go against each other last year. So I think you give the benefit of the doubt of the cagey vet to kind of figure it out before you go to Hagstrom. Now, in Kevin Corrigan's defense, Hagstrom owned the matchup against Wambach last year.
That's a live ball turnover off the clear. Wilson. His pass knocked down, recovery by Notre Dame, and scooped up by the Irish and Reinhardt as quarter number 1 comes to an end. Wambach now 5 out of 6, quickly up ahead. Here's Parker Hoffman, who is lightning quick. Koopman the trailer, and a long pole shoots it wide.
To be quite honest, no other teams really do that.
And Carolina's been incredible at the faceoff X this season. They have tilted the position or the possession advantage in almost every game. Here's Jeffrey.
What a hit. Wow. What a hit by Barton. Barton absolutely crushed Jeffrey.
Buzenkill. Lost it. Picks it up with white shirts closed and yard sale. Here's O'Berry the other way. Duffy puts on the brakes. Here is Matten. Quinton DeCotter have that game. The 4 of us enjoyed a nice dinner last night. English falls down. Donovan picks it up.
See, when Faison's getting close to the goal, going back and forth, I'd like to see him use the space like he did against Duke and Aiden McGuire. Start your dodge beyond the restraining box.
Jeffrey flagged down. Ball hit the side of the net, and Notre Dame will go man up on goal.
Third of the way into the second quarter.
Here is Faison. Maneuvers down the alley. That one hit the pipe. And crease violation against the Irish. First shot on goal by Notre Dame. Going into this weekend, out of contention for the Ivy League tournament.
Yeah, the Ivies are set.
Harris got smacked. It will go to UNC.
At 2 o'clock down the road. And then next week, regardless if Duke wins or not, next week against Virginia is for the fourth seed in the ACC tournament.
Wertheim turned away. Shot clock reset if Carolina gets it back. They do. English. And Joe Bresci wants a timeout.
Me too.
You know, you can point to Ohio State. Yeah, they lost to Utah. Well, they also went on a run after that and piled up some impressive wins, including one over Notre Dame. They beat Penn State.
Nice
that shot is saved, popped into the air.
I'm with you, Anish. Like the RPI, yeah, do they play enough games in the sport of lacrosse? No, and RPI works great in basketball. There's 363 Division I teams. Men's lacrosse, there's 78. Beat someone, can they make a run at a national title? I've done exercises with some friends and colleagues. Like, there's 8 to 9 to 10 teams, really. All 10 of those teams, you wouldn't be completely shocked if they won a national title.
Ramsey, a save by Gianfrancaro, his first of the game. And Notre Dame still scoreless. Duffy held to 1 assist so far. Petramala's been quiet. He's not on the field. Both Duffy and Petramala nursing injuries, playing through it. Up top, Harshbarger, too much helium.
There's the maturation of Duffy, though, right? Like, he's not just going to the cage.
We come up on the final 90 seconds of an opening half. Carolina's defense has put the shackles on Notre Dame. The Irish have pitched a second quarter shutout defensively. Dupuis has trouble. Ramsey, the bagpiper, with the takeaway.
In this type of position early in the season. Then they lose Peter Tillman, their lockdown defender. They have exceeded all expectations.
Meanwhile, the Irish trying to get on the board. Kavanaugh, step down. There it is. The first goal of the game for Notre Dame comes in the final minute of the first half.
Give it to your best player and let him go. Uses the pick there. There's the discombobulated defense for the first time. They didn't know if they should switch or not. They did not switch. I think Prohaska thought that he was going to shift off and have another Carolina defender. When I say he's positionless, I mean from an offensive threat perspective, not a guy who plays midfield and plays attack and is all over the field. In that offensive set, he's positionless.
Well, remember, as a kid, this kid played goalkeeper. He faced off, played as a two-way midfielder, so there is some truth to that. Lynch took that face off. The Wings give Notre Dame the ball. Here's Kavanaugh again. We saw in the loss against Maryland with Notre Dame down late, Kavanaugh almost willed the Irish back by himself. Here is Kavanaugh, defended by Prohaska. Gets the pick from Ramsey. Final 15 seconds. Jeffrey from the wing. Dodges, turns, fires. That one hit the pipe. And a backup by Gianfrancaro. So UNC ball, 9 seconds left in the half. Two of the best at the face-off X, Lynch and Wambach, both top 12 nationally. And here is Ramsey, so the Irish control to begin the third quarter. Kavanaugh wheels down the alley, rolls back, body save by Gianfrancaro, and Prohaska picks it off the ground. There's Taylor. We've hardly called his name. Jeffrey dumps it back to Angrick. This Carolina defense, they showed a lot last week against Duke. Here is Kavanaugh. That's Gianfrancaro to stop. A lot more run today for Brevin Wilson. This is Ryan Levy. Duffy against Schwitzenberg. Duffy down the alley, shot save, Ricciardelli. Petramala scoops it up, fresh 60. There comes Jalen Seymour wheeling down the alley. Seymour stops on a dime, rolls back, feeds Taylor, gets free and scores! He carries that Midas touch. 25th goal of the season for the 6th-year senior.
What did you say when you call his name on a shot, it's a score? Well, Jake Taylor, 55% this season, 3rd nationally. What a sick move where he catches this at first. He knows he can't shoot through the contact. Just takes that one little hitch step up to free his hands. That is a proven goal scorer.
Jeffrey, who's got it now in Faison. And McLean, who normally drew the top cover at Brown, getting a short stick. Angrick, crease feed, dangerous, turnover.
I think where McLean can be lethal as a dodger is off of ball movement. Wow, what a hit by Taylor.
Got Hager up to the ground and no flag.
Look at Taylor riding too, end to end.
Carolina has to get it across midfield before that shot clock hits 60.
There's a broken stick.
And we get a flag on the Irish as Duffy tried to cyclone away from 2 Irish defenders.
He's got the lefty hammer. Levy's a good passer from that lower left spot.
There's Petramala. Petramala from the wing splashes it in. And that end is a long scoring drought for the Heels.
Got the bow and arrow celebration. You can't give him this much room. When Dom Petramala catches the ball, has that much time and room. You know what I love about this too? He's playing a little mind games from a release perspective, Anish. He had that three-quarter overhand when he hammered the pipe. This one was direct swooping underhand motion.
And if you just look at his shooting in ACC play, first 3 career games in this conference, he shot 2 for 23. Last 3, not including this one, 10 for 22. Chance here for the Irish. Kavanaugh with his second. And now this game is starting to get caffeinated.
This is the early offense. North Carolina has been spectacular in the 6-on-6 defense against the Irish. Hit him in transition. Will Donovan, who's so smooth operating the break. And what a pass by Devin McClain. You mentioned he was the main attacker at Brown running that offense. That's where you see those true colors from McClain, 29 and blue.
3 goals in the last 8 minutes for Notre Dame after not scoring in the first 29. And Notre Dame having more success of the face-off X in this third quarter. This is a 50-50 ball. And the Irish win another face-off.
And they're going with Lynch, 22, their main face-off guy during these championship runs.
By Harris, the junior from Chicago, D'd up by O'Berry. Seymour defended by Hagerup. Left hand free, and that somehow beat Gianfrancaro, who was surprised as anyone else. Well, we've got a 1-goal game in Chapel Hill.
If you look at Gianfrancaro on this, he doesn't explode to the ball. His base is so wide, he just can't get to the opposite side. Seymour, a right-handed hammer of a shooter, goes with the left on the run. The Irish.
Kavanaugh, the perimeter guy. Taylor, the inside guy. And you mentioned that three-peat from Princeton, right? 96, 97, 98. They had the attack.
Yeah.
Hess, Hubbard, Massey. Those 3 played so beautifully together, right? Massey was a lefty.
Taylor.
Kavanaugh wants a pick up top to free up his hands a little bit.
He's got the short stick, draws the slide. Taylor whiffs. Loose ball push. Notre Dame ball. Shot clock reset to 60. Irish looking for the equalizer. They trailed 4-0 after the first quarter. Jeffrey shoots on the run. Gianfrancaro goes down to stamp it. In the top 11. Seymour against Salucci. 12 to shoot. Now Kavanaugh. In the crease. Flag flies. Let's see what we get here.
This is going to have layers. We're going to get a call here, then there's probably going to be a review.
The goal is good. The push wiped out.
So you feel the defensive pressure if you're Kavanaugh. Falling into the goal mouth is not the issue. It's if it's because of defensive pressure. So he falls in that goal mouth, but that's void because the ref is saying it was because of a push.
Look how patient Light is. There's no overcompensation.
Dupuis, bounce shot blocked. Loose in front, a sea of blue. Buckner out of the scrap heap, lost it. Carolina gets it back, fresh 80, because Notre Dame had established possession. All right. 3 of the 5 Carolina goals have been with the extra man, so settled set. How do they get offense?
Got to come from the midfield.
Levy toward the cage, flag down. They'll debate if the goal is good. The goal is good by Levy.
We're getting our money's worth with these tight calls around the crease. So they're going to call push there too because the flag is down. He lands in the goal mouth just like Kavanaugh, but it doesn't matter because it's because of defensive pressure. Buckner lunges on the backside of Levy.
Agerup tries to match feet with Jeffrey. Over to the wing, nifty move. Kavanaugh with his fourth. Put that one on SportsCenter.
Masterful. Speak to the crowd, 50. He is willing his way to pay dirt. And what creativity, agility, and smoothness around the middle of the field. Look at the emotion out of Chris Kavanaugh right now. He's shown you an elite ability to pass the ball too at 19 assists coming into this game. But the goal scoring is still there. He's got the Monster X on his back, getting everyone's best matchup.
Notre Dame looking for its first lead. And there it is! Wilma Harris, the Irish, down 4-zip at one point. Now have a 7-6 lead in the final seconds of quarter number 3.
It goes from zero offense for 29 minutes to an absolute onslaught. Wilma Harris, former attacker in high school.
6 goals in this third quarter for the Irish. They had just one in the first half. A chance for more. Donovan over to McLean.
He wants the ball. He wants the ball.
There's Kavanaugh. He's got 4 already. Behind the cage. To the long pole. And Schwitzenberg's shot missed the mark. He's going to have something Pat doesn't have.
Oh, yeah.
Which is going to be that third ring. And you think that's going to come up at the dinner table for the next 4 years?
Doing something on his own, right? Like, think of that narrative. But no one will be rooting for that moment, knowing the Kavanaughs more than Pat.
No doubt.
Those brothers are fiercely loyal. They're their biggest fans.
Well, Tar Heels having trouble clearing.
This has been a bizarre game.
Well, Kark, North Carolina is a team that wants to run. They like playing fast and loose, and they give it back up to Notre Dame.
Any mistake about it. The defense did their job in the first half, but the offense was absent.
Well, not anymore. 6 goals in the third. Jeffrey, that one played back to Faison. Maneuvering on Barton, question mark, with an exclamation point.
With some little subtle stuff going on here, Anish, when he gets up to the island in 5 and 5. 5 yards out, 5 yards up. It's the in and out on Barton. That little in and out. You see that jab foot with his right foot, how he goes in and then he goes out.
Face-offs have spurred this Notre Dame comeback. 7 out of 10, make it 7 out of 11 now in the second half. Jeffrey, he's got some speed. Oh, dusting, Scotty scores! Straight line speed with a little shake.
Maybe Marcus Freeman's watching right now and saying, Matt Jeffrey, run a stop and go. Here's the stop, there's the go. That's ridiculous. That is just an athlete who's using his feet and his body like
that's not fair.
He plants his foot and he changes the trajectory of his body all in one.
And Notre Dame continues to push downhill 9-6. A 3-goal lead for the Irish. Lynch and Wambach.
We talk about how scary Notre Dame can be. And one of the main reasons, you know the Gnomes, the Taylors, and the Kavanaughs, right? Like that's coming to the party.
It's 5 and 14.
5 and 14.
And Notre Dame purposely has slow played them early in the season, like you're holding on to pocket aces. And you checked on the flop. Angrick, wheeling, dealing, Save Gianfrancaro.
But you asked me earlier in the game about how to get them going. Do you remember I told you, like, start their dodges beyond the box?
Yeah, step up their game, and oh, by the way, do it against the two-time defending champion. Dewey Egan, big 6'4" senior. Ramsey the takeaway.
That's a great trail check. That is timed perfectly.
Here comes Campese. 4-goal afternoon for the last of the Kavanaugh brothers.
If you look at his 4 goals, too, none were the same. He's really evolved his game.
Seymour turns the corner and paints the corner.
You know what's interesting in these? When I was watching him a little bit last year, and then early in the season, I'm like, righty guy who needs a lot of time to get his shot off. He had a beautiful take lefty on the run for a goal in the 3rd quarter. Now in the 4th quarter, he uses his natural right hand. This is a 6'4" midfielder.
Plays it over to Werthon. Back to X. This is Matt Reedy against Campese. Harshberger on the invert. Ramsey's done a nice job today. That shot saved by Richard Deli, loose in front.
That's a great stop by the redshirt sophomore.
Carolina trying to get it back. Flags down, multiple flags down. McLean and English getting into it. That looks like Kavanaugh, who's down for the Irish. Duffy took a spill.
English dumped Kavanaugh there, and he looks like he's hurting. Ball's on the ground. It's a good check by Petramalo. There's nothing wrong with that. And then as Duffy goes to the ball, he gets it high, and I think the ref throws a flag there. That's going to be on Buckner. And then English just comes in and hammers Kavanaugh.
Got a live ball foul, 12 blue, illegal body check for a minute. Then we got a dead ball foul, 23 white, illegal body check for a minute. There's no face-off. It's going to be white ball or blue ball. No, blue ball. They had the last one. I'm on 5 for a minute. Now we have the last. This one.
Played a little safe here.
Well, they have a 4-goal lead.
Yep.
Here is Faison. Now we're back to 6-on-6. Faison dancing, shaking, lost it. Ashon the other way in an ambush. Escapes.
He had Hager up.
Catch
Soft
your breath.
pressure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
There's Harshberger. He's been quiet. Spins back to his right. Redodges. Dumps it to Duffy. He'll launch. Richard Deli the save. That felt like a poker player on tilt a little, didn't it?
Yep.
Ramsey splitting the defense, gets inside and scores. Piper, yes.
The bagpiper strikes again. That's 2 weeks in a row. He's gone end to end from his defensive midfield position to smell and pay dirt. Ben Ramsey just rushes through the pressure of the defense in North Carolina. Mainstay and Kevin Corrigan and Ryan Wellner's defense as a shorty.
He's among the best. Trail check Donovan. He's pretty good too. This rope unit for Notre Dame, all of Kevin Corrigan's best teams have been elite on the rope unit. Two-way middies, LSMs. Decide who's the 1 seed in the ACC tournament. Now, the big thing with the ACC tournament, there's no automatic qualifier. So it's really an RPI boost for the 4 teams involved. Duke and Virginia will battle it out for the last spot. Empty net goal in McLean adds a little extra punctuation. It's 12-6.
You know, I thought prior to last year, a few years before 2024, they were doubling up ACC games and there was no ACC tournament. I thought, oh, that might hurt you if you play in the ACC tournament. Kevin Corrigan said, nah, no problem. They blitzed the ACC tournament last year. Play our best lacrosse and let's go. And the beauty of that is he doesn't overschedule in the regular season. They play less games.
We walked out of the ACC tournament a year ago, and I remember saying to Matt Ward as we're walking out, who's beating this team?
What was his response? Nobody?
Nobody did. I mean, they blowtorched through the postseason. Has work to do.
Duke has work to do even if they win today, because if Duke wins today and loses to Virginia, they're not going to the ACC tournament. Virginia would have the head-to-head. Duke, if they win today, would only have one ACC win. And if they lose next week to Virginia, that would be Virginia's first ACC win, but they have the head-to-head. That's a great look by Levy. That was a fantastic pass to the backside.
Notre Dame with an impressive second half today. For Carolina, a question for Joe Bresci over these next few weeks. How do you manage Owen Duffy and Dom Petramala? Nagging injuries. If they're able to win next week, do you sit them for that first ACC tournament game? Those are all valid questions.
That is a valid question, my friend. But what has been answered is Notre Dame continues to be frightening